our first pre-season press conference. We have head coach Mahela Jayawardene and our captain Rohit here. Just some house rules before we begin. Phones on silent, please stay off video, please be on mute, and raise your questions if you want to ask, and then we will be happy to facilitate those questions. Just one at a time so that we have a very smooth functioning of the conference. Over to you to start. Subodh, I'm starting with your question, so you can go ahead first.
Okay. Good morning, Rohit and coach. My question is for first to Rohit. Yeah. Am I playing some game in stadium and others are other variables also? Because similar to the conditions of one per day, particularly the red soil. So, Rohit, how do you see it is an advantage for him this season?
Let me explain to you. It's a new team. I hope you saw the auction. Relatively new team. A lot of the new guys have come into the team. So I don't believe in added advantage because these guys, a lot of the guys, like 70-80% of the squad have not played in Bombay before. So there's no such thing as added advantage. Only myself, Surya, Pollard, Ishan, Bumrah, those guys have played in Bombay a lot. Others have not played. So so there's no such thing as added advantage. We all are playing in Bombay after 2 years. We have not played a single game in Mumbai. In fact, the other franchisees have played in Bombay last year. We didn't get to play, so no advantage.
Okay, thank you. And coach, considering the very long tournament, do you think keeping the players in the right momentum will be a big challenge?
Well, I think everyone's looking forward to the IPL season. Some have played reasonable amount of cricket, some haven't. But I think we have reasonable breaks in between. All the franchises do. So I think overall, it will be managed well. We still play the same number of games, even though it's slightly longer. He's trying to keep the focus, motivated, and fresh for the entire season. I think that's what we've done in the past, and nothing will change with that management part of it.
परमिशन लेनी पड़ती है।
Yarika, go with your question next, please. Yarika, go with your question.
Okay, thanks. Good afternoon to the captain and coach. My question for you is that apart from your core players, Mumbai Indians seems to have got a lot many new players. So how do you try to gel in the new players into the team environment so that you can hit the ground running from the word go?
I think after a big auction, we faced the same situation, I think, in 2018 as well. We managed to keep our core group, which is quite vital for us, and added some exciting young players as well as some international players who we think are crucial for us going forward. So the challenge is to get them to identify their roles, responsibilities within the group, how we want to play this season. So the whole point of keeping a core group is that the responsibilities lies on them, and they've understood that over the years. They've brilliantly managed that on the field and off the field. So nothing changes from guys like Rohit, Polly, Bumrah, and now with Ishan and Surya. So I think they will do most of the work, getting these guys to that level of playing and making them calmer out there, making them much more comfortable, creating that environment on and off the field, and that's what we strive to do. So it is a challenge, but I think we've done it in the past, and we're looking forward to this season with that new challenge.
Amol, next question.
Yes, hi. Before I begin, one request. We can barely listen to anything that is being replied. So if that can be fixed from the back end, it would really help. I'll go ahead with the question. Coach and captain, you both have been a part of the IPL.
Amol, can you hear us? Is this okay? Oh, mic. Amol,
We can at least hear something of the mic.
Just say now. Amol, can you hear us? Is this okay?
Yeah, very low, but now at least make out something. As long as the audio is clear, it should be all right, I guess.
Okay, Amol, you can start your question again.
Sure, thanks. Coach and the captain, you both have been a part of an IPL that was played in a similar format. How much does the whole back-end planning change, considering there are a few teams you are going to play twice and a few once, and you don't know the NRR will factor in towards the end of the league stage as such? How difficult does planning become? Also, if we can have some sort of a fit update, particularly on Surya and hopefully no one else has injured.
Yeah, look, I think it's a format that we played in 2011, and to be honest, nothing really changes in terms of planning. You have to play the opposition, as simple as that. Some opposition you might only play once, some two, but again, I don't think there is a whole lot that you need to change in terms of planning. Alright, sir, one request: if people are not speaking, keep your phone or laptop on mute, please. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't think there's too much changes that we need to do. We just need to be aware that certain teams that you're going to play only once, you need to be very well prepared, because there's no coming back and playing them again against those guys. So you just need to plan well against those guys. Make sure that all your bases are covered, especially against the team that you're playing once, because there's no second shot at that. Yeah, I mean, Surya is at NCA at the moment. He's recovering well. He'll be here soon. I can't give you his availability right now, whether he'll be available for first game or not. But yeah, we're trying to get him here as soon as possible once we have the clearance from NCA.
Rajesh, you can go next.
Hi, can you hear me, Rohit? Mahela? Yeah, okay. So, my question for both of you will be, Mahela as a coach and Rohit as a captain. Mumbai has a completely revamped bowling lineup. Lot of new bowlers in the ranks. Like Bumrah being the only old warhorse, you can say. To back him up, there are like pretty new bowlers in Jaydev Narkar, Tamil Mills, Mayank Markande comes back. So how does it affect? Because the batting core has been retained, but because of the option dynamics, you could like only Bumrah could be retained and others you bid for them but couldn't be retained. So what would be another challenge for both of you going into the season?
I think we were probably in the same shoes in 2018 as well. We only had Bumrah and then we had a completely new bowling attack and we had to rebuild. But I think our planning, the way we approach, opposition.
We can't.
Can you hear us? Sorry. Yes? Yeah, okay. So the approach is not going to change. We'll have our same set of planning. But what will change is because of the new bowlers, their strengths are different to the bowlers that we had in the last 3 years. So we always work with the strength of the bowlers and see how we can adjust to that and given the opposition and the conditions. So we will create our own plans and we're excited to have all these new bowlers. They all have a brilliant skill set and with the experience that we have in the camp, I'm pretty confident that we'll have a very good season. Yes, it's always going to be challenging. We're up against some good quality opposition with the additional new two teams. It throws a lot of different variables. So that's something that every team will have to go through. But we're looking forward to that.
Anything Rohit needs to add on it?
Yeah, pretty much what Mahela said. Those guys, like you mentioned about Mills, Nutcut, and all those guys. Yes, they're new to this franchise, but they're not new to this game. They played this game for a number of years now, and they exactly know what needs to be done. It's just that our role here will be critical as to how we, give them the understanding of what they need to do for us in this team, because they played for different franchises, different countries. So their role in those countries and those franchises will be different to what we want them to do here. So I think for us that will be a challenge, and that is something that we're working on with these guys. We are trying to give them the role clarity as to what we are expecting from them, what sort of role they need to play here. So yeah, I think every time you build a new team, this is the challenge that you always face of having new group of guys and taking them forward and getting into your system and your style of play. And these guys have played the game for so many years. They do understand that aspect of playing for different franchises. So yeah, I think which is very much in progress. We are trying to understand what their strengths are, what they want to execute on the field, and we are trying to work with them on those aspects.
Thank you.
Gomesh, go next please.
Thank you. Hi Rohit and Mahela. Just a common question. In the past, Mumbai had been in a situation where they had to, let go of players after grooming them for 2-3 years in a mega auction. But this time, you seem to have formed a core despite, being happy to let go of the Pandya brothers and a few others. How much that augurs well through the course of the next 3 years?
Sorry, what's the last bit of your question?
How much that augurs well for the franchise in the course of the next 3 years?
Look, that's the nature of IPL. That's the format it is. You have to retain only 4 players, and what Mumbai has done all these years. We've groomed players. We've given opportunity to all these players to go out there and express. And while doing that, they've come out with flying colours, and which in the end has helped them and helped the Indian cricket team and certain other players also, where they've gone on to play for their national team. And that is what here at MI we do. We want to groom them, we want to give them that opportunity and express, so that they can express themselves. Unfortunately, the rule of IPL is such that you have to only retain 4 players. And if you look at our squad last year, we've got so many quality players, and it was always going to be hard for us to leave out those players. And we knew at the beginning as well, before we retained 4 players, we knew that this is going to be the tough retention that ever Mumbai because of the quality that we had in the squad. But I mean, it's the rule, right? We can't help with that. But again, we've got a new and fresh team here. We will try and build these guys, give them that opportunity as well, like we've done in the past, and let them be expressive more than anything else. And we are here to support them. We are here to back them and make sure that they get the best out of themselves first, and then the team. Because I truly believe that you give them the platform, you lay the foundation for them, and after that it's up to the individual, what he does with that foundation. So I think we've done that really well in the past, and players have accepted that really well in the past. So it's a new set of players that we have now, and I hope they can replicate the same thing as the other players have done in the past.
Thank you.
Abhishek, ball next to you, please. Abhishek. Okay, so we'll move to Vishesh Roy.
Yeah, hi, my question is for Rohit and the coach. I just wanted to ask, what are your early impressions about Dewald Brevis, and do you see him as an important cog in your top order this season?
Well, we haven't finalized who we're going to play. It's too early for us to give that kind of information, but very excited to see him in the nets. The way he's going about, he's a very committed young man. He's quite keen to learn, and that's a good sign to see. So I think everyone, all the coaches, everyone here is quite excited. Not only just DB, but I think some of the other young Indian talent that we've got this season. I mean, they're refreshing, brilliant to work with, and we're looking forward to if and when they get an opportunity that they could actually showcase how good they are. So like always, like Rohit mentioned earlier, I mean Mumbai thrives on developing skills, and not only skills on the field but off the field as well, making sure that they are well all-rounded cricketers. So good to see some of the Mumbai graduates have gone and captaining and showing leadership qualities and doing all that. So that's something that Mumbai always proud, and all these other youngsters who've come this season hopefully will fulfill those dreams and opportunities that has been created.
Aditya, over to you. Aditya Bhattacharya, you.
Yeah, hi Rohit, my questions to you. This time around, there's no Quinton. In an ideal scenario, you opening with Ishan Kishan seems to be the perfect recipe for batting success. Could you give us a little more about where you're going to bat?
What question is that? I will open the batting, sir. I've been doing that in the past, so I'm looking forward to open with Ishan, yes.
Ayush Gupta next. Your question, please.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if either of Rohit or Mahela has answered this question, so we are barely able to hear. I'll still go ahead. My question to Mahela is that Mumbai obviously went all out for Ishan Kishan in the auction, shelling out almost 15 crores. Now there are talks that this price tag might have an effect on his performance. So personally, do you think that price tag plays a factor when a player walks out into the middle to perform?
I think it's something that the player and the team and the franchise can control. I think we need to create an environment for him to go and perform. I mean, it's nothing to do with Ishan, what price tag that he was bought in, or any other players that, for that matter, in the IPL auction, it's not in their control. With 10 new teams, I mean, we knew that there'll be dilution, there'll be tough to get players back. but we wanted to create something, and that's where the franchise went and brought Ishan back to give that partnership, especially at the top. Rohit and Ishan, it's a good combination for us, and he's a keeper batsman. I mean, Indian keeper batsmen are rare commodity, especially in franchise cricket, who can bat in the top 3. So given all that and how we could balance the team, were a lot of factors. So I don't think personally Ishan will feel that pressure. It's a franchise decision how we wanted to set up the team and how we wanted to look forward to the future. So personally, I don't see it's been a problem. I'm sure, if you have a couple of games back, I mean, it's everyone else outside that bubble who's going to create that little bit of pressure. But I'm sure Ishan, having been around the Mumbai setup, having seen how we operate, how we create that environment, I personally don't feel it's going to be an issue for him.
Rajiv Rai, your question next, please.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible. Please
Hello.
go ahead.
Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Hi Rohit. राजीव this side from Arunachala. मेरा जस्ट सवाल आपसे एक ही है कि लाइक अभी इस बार के आईपीएल में 3 नए नियम आए हैं. लाइक एक तो आपका मानकड़ी जिसे लेकर काफी विवाद हुआ था, काफी कंट्रोवर्सीज हुई थी, उसके लागू कर दिया गया है. सो आई मीन अश्विन और जो कि अब आई मीन इट्स लीगल कि वो कोई भी इसे कर सकता है. एंड सेकंड थिंग कि आप जब बैट्समैन जब आउट होता है उस टाइम क्रॉस होता है तो उसका भी वो रूल है. एंड डीआरएस जो आपको एक एक्स्ट्रा मिल रहा है इस बार, उसके क्या बेनिफिट्स होंगे और क्या आपको लगता है कि इससे क्या क्या फर्क पड़ने वाला है इस बार आईपीएल?
अरे बाप रे, तो 3 सवाल एक ही इसमें पूछ लिया आपने. नहीं, देखिए अभी जो वो लीगल हो गया रूल, तो ऑब्वियसली बैट्समैनों को थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा क्रीज के बाहर कब निकलना है, नहीं निकलना है. तो इट्स वेरी सिंपल, रूल्स आ गए हैं और वो रूल के मुताबिक हमें चलना पड़ेगा. दूसरा चीज़, हाँ जी बिल्कुल, नया बैट्समैन मेरे हिसाब से वो अच्छा रूल है कि नए बैट्समैन को फेस करना चाहिए. अगर बैट्समैन आउट होता है तो ऑपोजिशन टीम के लिए एटलीस्ट इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट कि आप, अगर बॉलर अच्छे रिदम में बॉल कर रहा है और उस टाइम पे उसे विकेट मिलता है तो वो नया बैट्समैन आके फेस करे उसे. स्पेशली वो जब कैच आउट होता है तो बोल्ड एलबी होते हैं तो नया बैट्समैन आकर ही स्ट्राइक लेता है. बट जब कैच करके आउट होता है ऊपर मार के तो वो क्रॉस होता नहीं है और नया बैट्समैन आएगा, खेलेगा. तो एक अच्छा अपॉर्चुनिटी है ऑपोजिशन टीम के लिए कि नए बैट्समैन के ऊपर वही प्रेशर जारी रखे. और डीआरएस का दूसरा होना, आई थिंक मेरे लिए मेरा ये मानना है कि ये भी एक अच्छा रूल है, क्योंकि गेम में जितने कम मिस्टेक्स हो उतना बेटर है. तो आई थिंक वो मिस्टेक्स को हम रेक्टिफाई करने के लिए जो भी कर सकते हैं वो हमें करना चाहिए. इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट में हम 2 डीआरएस से खेलते, तो जाहिर सी बात है आईपीएल में भी वो रूल होना चाहिए. तो आई थिंक इट्स अ गुड मूव जो ये 2 डीआरएस लाकर आईपीएल ने किया है. टीम्स को अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी उस डीआरएस को यूज़ करके अपने तरीके से यूज़ करना और अपने वे में यूज़ करना. आई थिंक ये और तीनों रूल काफ़ी अच्छा है. क्लैरिटी है कि रूल्स जो है वो पहले ही ले आउट हो चुके हैं, तो उस रूल्स के मुताबिक हम खेलेंगे.
Gaurav Gupta, your question next, please.
Rohit, going forward, are you also looking to sort of preserve yourself in this tournament and like sort of maybe not play all the games and sort of rotate yourself, take a break in between, or do you plan to play all the games and as long as you're fit, you plan to play all the games?
Of course, I mean, I'm looking to play all games. That's why I'm sitting here. Honestly, unless there is an issue, which obviously we'll take a call at that point. But at the moment, there's nothing. There's no issues at all. Looking to play all games, participate in all games, and try to make difference in all games. So, yeah, that is what I'm looking forward to. And yeah, if there's a concern, obviously we'll address it.
last two questions. Anuj Prabhu, Sportskeeda, please.
Yeah, hi Mahela, hi Rohit, this is Anush Prabhu from Sportskeeda. Actually, my question was about the retention thing. For any champion team, it is very difficult to let go of their players after in a mega auction. So, speaking about Hardik Pandya's contributions to this team and the way that he has been vital with both bat and ball, what do you feel that you will miss about his performances? That is for Rohit. And for Mahela, one thing is that, MI take pride in their scouting system, right? Every single time, like after every mega auction, there are some gems that come up. So this time, there is a lot of talk about Tilak Verma and that he is going to be the designated number 3 in the top order. So will you tell us about these hidden gems that, we need to look out for this season?
Yeah, part of your first question, I will answer that. Yes, I mean, look, Hardik was a very key member for us, without a doubt. But again, I said it in the beginning, it's the rules that don't allow us to keep all the players. His contribution to this franchisee will never be ignored or never be unseen. I think he played a huge impact and a huge role for us to get that success, whatever we had, while he was here. But obviously it's a different challenge for him now. He's the captain of another franchisee, so it's going to be a different challenge for him. But being here, whatever he did, his role, he played that to perfection. I think not many people can play that role, but obviously there are other guys as well who put an impact in this franchise's success. So those performances of anyone's will never be ignored or never be talked about. I think we do consider and we do appreciate all the efforts and hard work that those guys have put in. But again, there are certain regulations rules and regulations that we need to keep a check on, and which doesn't allow us to have as many players as we want. I think hopefully that can change after this cycle. So let's see what happens in that aspect. But yeah, we really had some match winners in our squad. But we're looking forward to this cycle now, and we have some match winners which I'm not going to reveal. Hopefully you can see them during the tournament and see what they're capable of.
Yeah, for your question about the scouting, I think we definitely pride on our scouting program. I think everyone who's involved are very dedicated to that program, and we've seen a lot of success over the last years. 10 years, Mumbai's always, had that ability to find that talent. I believe your scouting is probably a bit better than ours to find out that Tilak's going to bat at 3, but I'm still not sure, but he's definitely a massive talent. I think we are very fortunate that we've been able to pick him at the auction. Indian under 19 player. We see a lot of potential in Tilak, but like any other youngster, it's just a process for him to go through, understand how we play here, understand how the other guys are playing here. It's about contributing, learning, challenging themselves through the season. We are very much looking forward to not just Tilak, but all the other young guys that we have, and try and nurture them through the system.
Thank you so much.
Alok Sen Sharma, your question, please.
Yeah, hi Rohit, hi Mahela. I would like to ask, my question is, Mumbai Indians have been one of the most successful sides in the history of the IPL. However, this time you have a pretty different squad due to the mega auctions, obviously. So, who do you think will be the X factors for you guys this time?
Well, I think pretty much we're banking on everyone to be an X factor. That's how we develop the team. We have our senior group who's delivered, who's contributed over the years for the success of the franchise, especially in big games, and pretty much they'll try and contribute the same way. I think they know the responsibilities. We're very proud to have all of them with us, and the youngsters to learn from them and believe in their ability, create the culture, understand the culture that we've created here, and go out and express and enjoy their cricket. I think that's the most important thing. So we acknowledge what we've achieved in the past, and there's a lot of learnings from that. But for us is next game is the next important thing. So we're going to just focus on that and move on and build the new team, the new way forward with that. So not going to think too far ahead, not going to think too far back as well. Just staying in the moment and go through the processes, achieving that.
Shubham, your question, please.
Hello, Rohit sir. Hello, Mahela Jayawardene sir. My question is from both the captain and coach. There have been talks around the media that most of the teams are not happy that you are playing most of the games at home condition. What are your opinion about that?
I think Rohit answered that question, but I'll quickly say this. I mean, this is not something that it is in our control. But I can't even remember last we played in Mumbai. That was about 2.5 years ago, and I think a lot of the other guys have played. Even last season, a lot of the other players have played, and the home conditions. Some of the guys who played for Mumbai over the last 2 years are with other franchises as well, so they have that advantage if you really look at it. So I don't believe that this is a tournament that you have that kind of advantage. I think the surfaces are going to be very true for all the teams, and it's about the skill set that you have out there and how you execute that skill set. So I think we've come through the IPL for so many years, and even home conditions at Wankhede, we don't have any control over the surface or the wicket, how it's been prepared. It's actually not our home venue. So I think we need to approach this as a neutral tournament. Skills, new teams, new players, and play best cricket possible, and be there at the business end of the tournament, which is the playoffs, and try and achieve what we all want to achieve. So I think that's where we all stand.
Thank you. So that's all. We have time for questions. Apologies in advance. Sorry, apologies for the video and audio. We will be sharing a separate